Leave
Also
it there.
Danish.
Leave it there. But
If only you had like
Don't worry
a
about
crazy.
my fellow Americans, it has been a day since Supergirl's attack on the White House. Spruck! Supergirl, 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 Supergirl. Seriously, season 4, episode 18, Crime and Punishment. AfterBuzz After Show starts right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Spruck. Did I get it all in there?
Spruck.
I like it.
I love it.
Spruck
Bit
my
of
life.
everything in there, yeah.
I hope I did it all. I wasn't sprucking sure, you know.
Great spruck.
Yeah, I love that. I
you
love
spruck
the use
that.
of the word spruck. You know, that's just a perfect placement. And
What you doing later tonight? Going home, get spruck.
okay, let's talk some Supergirl season 4, episode 18, Crime and Punishment. One of my favorite novels, and possibly one of the best novels of all time. Wish I could say the same thing about this episode. We will get into a lot of that as we talk so much today. We're going to discuss the curfew, martial law, car crash, Secretary Lockwood, Brainiac, Alex and Jimmy's sister. We might be shipping that a little. Alex and the Colonel, Jimmy, Lena. We got Strikers, not Rikers, but Strikers, Striker Island, the Warden, who is Steve Lamella, and the Kryptonite Shield. Boom, that protects you, right? Otis Graves, deputizing the Children of Liberty, our favorite segment, which is Who You, where we pick a scene from the show that relates to our lives, news and gossip, and of course, the wonderful predictions. And when I say wonderful predictions, I don't mean just me. My name's Tehran. I will be hosting, but I'm here with the panel of all panels. It's like we got the band back together, except we're -1. Zach is not with us.
He's currently go-karting in Japan. Must be nice.
Yeah. He's not with us today. I should have finished that because you never know. With Supergirl, it always seems like someone's gone, but someone's really coming back. But I do have the wonderful, enigmatic Heather Wake is in the building.
Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Easter.
And of course, the voice himself,
Hola. Jorge Payo here. Happy Easter, guys.
Jorge. Thank you so much for bringing your voice.
Well, thank you for inviting it.
I appreciate you both. So let's get right into the nitty gritty. Overall thoughts of this episode, episode 18, Crime and Punishment, Supergirl. Heather?
Surprisingly little Russian Supergirl for a Russian-inspired title. Great episode for Halley. Pretty good episode for Jimmy. Good episode for Brainy. Good episode for pretty much everyone but Supergirl herself, I feel. Like lots of little evolutions for the side characters.
Yeah.
Jorge?
Lots of little things going on here and there. Great little episode for Lena, too, I thought. And finding the little note in a chess piece.
That's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Big
Now,
fan.
I knew that's how you felt as we watched the show, but I'll tell you something. I actually really enjoyed the show. The show was fun. It was full of adventure. There was action. I just wish we got a little more from Steve Lamella and not just the disc, not just, here's a memory stick with everything. I wanted more of his story, and I wish he played a larger part because it was actually one of the more interesting characters that came to play, as he was the reflective of a Snowden or the Wikipedia. I mean, not Wikipedia. What's the other one? The one.
The one who just got
WikiLeaks?
Yeah, WikiLeaks.
Arrested.
WikiLeaks. Like, it's a bunch of those guys put together and it was really cool. But the concept is, I just wish he had a bigger role. And I hope that's not the end of Steve Lamella.
I
not.
got that it was just sort of dangle that he will be used at least for, I don't know, the next episode. Now that it's going to be more Kara as the reporter is what I'm feeling. I think they're going to be teaming up together.
Yeah, Kara the reporter comes to play because Supergirl has to go into hiding. And that part of the episode, I mean, we got a little Otis Graves. We got some
He was the
Kryptonite.
MVP in my opinion.
He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun. Here's Otis. That plays. let's discuss the curfew and the martial law as instructed by the president himself. So after this Supergirl attack, which we as the audience know wasn't actually Supergirl, was Supergirl's Dynamo Red sister, daughter, twin. The evil Supergirl did it. The evil, and I would say misunderstood, not so evil, actually. Misguided Supergirl, to
gaslit.
To be very honest, basically attacked the White House. And so White House does two things: martial law, curfew, and then at the end deputizes the Children of Liberty.
Right. And they also any citizen who was out past curfew was going to be cited, and any alien that was found after curfew was going to be stopped by any means possible.
And detained and shot and killed.
Exactly.
And used as a black person. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, why are we going to extreme measures off the bat? Very interesting. Heather?
And I wonder if we're going to see, we didn't really see how any of that martial law played out in the real world with any, I mean, we saw no outside characters because everything was going on with everybody else, it seems. I wonder if the next episode or two is going to show how martial law has affected
I guess we got a slight mention of it, though, when Halley was talking about her daughter.
That's
right,
true.
And then her favorite teacher has gone missing, but presumably in hiding. So we got just a slight glimpse of it, but it was...
Yeah, we didn't get any actual action off it. And I'm feeling like this was an action-packed episode. And I agree with Heather where I think they're going to probably save it for next week because that's got to play where we see citizens get detained or aliens get stopped by any means necessary, especially as they clash with the Children of Liberty, which is...
The Children of Leprosy, yes.
Well, I mean, they're lepers on our society. This is martial law. This is vigilante law. I mean, this is scary stuff.
Yeah. The children, I mean, what was actually scary to me was just, it looks like Dreamer's dream is going to come true with the Children of Liberty just walking into the DOD and grabbing Brainy. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, Dreamer had that vision, that dream. I mean, but can I just say there are good people and bad people on both sides? Is that's not something you're supposed to say when you're the president? I don't know. So,
well, yeah.
What were you most worried about? Was it the Children of Liberty deputization, or is this just the tip of the iceberg from the president?
Oh, I'm the most worried about Brainy getting detained because he's my favorite.
Yeah,
Brainy is definitely comedy relief all the way around.
Yeah, and there's just something about him too. Like, I don't know, the heart of him I just really like, and that unrequited romance with Nina. I'm like, well, how is that going to happen if you get arrested? I just don't know. Yeah. But Children of Liberty, is that how dangerous? On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous is deputizing the Children of Liberty?
It's
in the world of Supergirl.
I would say it's an 11 and 12 because you're talking about deputizing a bunch of fascists, right? You're talking about deputizing the alt-right, if you were. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
I mean, it does feel they do have a bit of a Glory Boys feel to them. Mm-hmm. So they're being deputized officially. They're given presidential rights to detain. It's a very scary notion to have play a part.
Right.
But I guess I would feel like the danger is there if we haven't already been in this territory before of the Children of Liberty having this semi-totalitarian
But now it's
authority.
It's almost encouraged. Before it was something that happened, but now it's encouraged behavior. And the thing about when it comes to systematic injustice, when it becomes something that's normalized and when it becomes something that's justified in the legal system, that's what encourages more people to follow it and become complicit in it, where they're just saying, well, it's okay. Well, then why is it not illegal? That actually happens a lot with rights in general. When people go, well, if you haven't done anything wrong, then why did you run? Or if you didn't do anything wrong, then why can't they search you? Because it's a constitutional right. because we have a constitution that protects the individual rights of people to begin with. This is clearly a slippery slope. This discussion on injustice, this discussion on fascism, as Jorge said, and the discussion on bigotry all plays a part.
I also wonder, because of this, how many, I think before the viewpoints on the Children of Liberty was a bit more divided. Now that Supergirl has become the scapegoat, I wonder, we didn't really see how the rest of the country really felt about this curfew either. Is it that they are feeling safer through martial law? Are they mostly afraid of aliens, or what? Was
any of that talked about in when Jimmy was in Catco and in the video screens being played behind him?
There was some, but it wasn't an overall discussion, right? So I'm getting the feel that Supergirl's attack on the White House was very akin to a 9/11 situation, something where people would be like, remember this date, never forget.
And it was an inside job.
And exactly, and there's the conspiracies, of course, and people are discussing it. This is an attack, and as we've seen, wartime presidents, of course, their approval ratings go to the roof because people are afraid. And whatever the government decides, especially if it's an aggressive attack, that seems to always be the favorable action. And that's a very scary thought to have. We see that a lot in actual politics. And so it's unsurprising, as Supergirl is excellent at mimicking through its art the portrayal of society as a whole. We see it in the world of Supergirl as well.
I'm just waiting for the president and Lex Luthor to have like a tete-a-tete as well.
Or do you think they can?
Oh yeah, they're in communication.
They're in cahoots and somehow.
They're in cahoots. Yeah, they're colluding.
They're going to become allies.
Becoming or have been all along?
I don't know. That's the thing.
I'm thinking it's been all along. That somehow they have been working together. I mean, because think about a few episodes back when they were talking about that satellite or space station that was going to blow up any alien ship that would come within Earth's atmosphere. You think Baxter came up with that idea all by himself? Or was that something that was, planted?
That's a Lex Luthor. That's a Lex Luthor plan. And of course, we do know that in the comic books, in some form, that Lex Luthor becomes the president himself. Right. So we're looking at it where maybe not on this Earth, but there's a play where Lex Luthor becomes justified in his actions and becomes possibly the president.
Or a major influencer of the president of this world, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he might have like 100,000 followers if he's a major influencer.
Yeah.
He might have 100,000 followers, and we see the effects of the president himself, who we've never been a fan of. We've never been a fan of this president, and when I'm referring specifically to Supergirl, we're looking at the president, the highest power being. I don't know. He tries to come off very strong, but he seems to be a very insecure and afraid president.
Right. Well, because he's only became president. He was vice president before. He only became president because the first president was found out to be an alien. So his job, he wasn't actually elected into that office. He sort of just slid into that office. And just like any politician, he's looking to maintain his power. And so he's going to make knee-jerk decisions that are going to go, what's going to win him the polls, what's going to win over the people, so that when an election does come up, he can actually be elected into that office.
Oh, Art. It's a total house of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you imitate life. How you imitate life so well. And this is just in general, I feel all politics, a blanket statement across the board. A lot of people love to point fingers at one side or another, but honestly, the way I look at it is left wing, right wing, same bird. Right. This is something we need to be wary of, any politician that's in a position of power, because absolute power corrupts absolutely, unless you're Supergirl and you're always right. That's the thing,
Or if you're a malignant narcissist.
That's what Supergirl was called, a malignant narcissist, and that actually there is something to that. But before we get to that, I feel that Jorge has something he'd like to say.
That is also malignant.
Oh.
Perhaps even beneficial.
Fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans, Hey guys, before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us in doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your super friends, and keep enjoying our shows.
That's how I feel about everything. That should be the voice leading me into all my charges. Thank you so much.
Once more into the breach, dear
And I
friends,
just want to
once
remind
more.
everybody that this panel is way more than us. It's all of you at home. We love your comments, so please continue to comment below. Be on the chat. We do have people in the booth who are mining the chat, and we love to give shout outs to all of you. Thank you so much for watching us, supporting us, and showing so much love. Let's discuss. Okay, let's touch on the car crash. Car crash happens because this was actually a small part, but very intricate. There's a car crash, and Supergirl, even though despite being on the run, decides to go out there and save this driver.
Right, because she's a hero.
Yeah, and when
Hero
it first
first.
happened, I thought it might have been a
thought it
ploy.
was a trap,
I thought
for
it was a
sure,
trap too.
yeah.
Oh, we get Supergirl. She's going to save people. But it wasn't. It wasn't a trap. She actually saved people. But then, of course, there were 3 citizens who came to make a citizen arrest on Supergirl.
I guess she went to Texas. I don't know. They just were walking around with guns. That's cool.
I mean, I've never understood why people shoot at Supergirl or Superman. Like, that's just the... Have you not seen everyone else?
I mean, she. What was that? I mean, she caught the first bullet, and then the guy's like, "Not if she's gonna get away. Not if I kill her first." With what? With what, dude?
Did you have kryptonite bullets?
Bullets?
We didn't
Come
know
on,
about?
man.
Because that's what I was also expecting, some kryptonite, something. But this guy's just like, oh, I'm gonna try to boom, boom, boom.
Ignorant masses.
You know?
And he ends up making things worse by almost blowing up the car too. And there's a
Well,
guy
she
just
kind of
trying to-
deflects that bullet, and that was kind of silly on her point. Like, you can catch them, catch them. You're faster than a speeding bullet, Supergirl.
Unless it's false advertising.
My thing was this. It was the reason why we got the scene wasn't so much to show the gun shooter's stupidity, but to show that even people Supergirl helps still believe that she was the one behind the White House attack. I mean, we have video footage. It looks like she did it. If it walks like Supergirl and it flies like Supergirl, it must be Supergirl.
Right.
Who's thinking doppelganger?
Right.
Only everyone that knows that aliens exist. That's what my problem is in this concept of a reality.
That's true. There's no neutral logical people either. Yeah.
Yeah, like we've seen aliens do a variety of things. Why would we not think that an alien could copy Supergirl?
Because it's the average Joe on the street. It's the average guy on the street. You know, it's the guy who you can ask ask them a random question and they will act like they know the answer to it, even if they don't.
You know what? I would have accepted the whole try multiple times to kill her with bullets in one episode, but having that compiled with the prisoners that try to like beat her with their bare fists, I was like, okay, this is
Obviously, you've
Beyond
never
the-
heard of Supergirl. This is you
That's all they
didn't
have
know
is a
about
TV
Supergirl.
in there. Come on.
All you know, they're all probably in there because of Supergirl. Like, you know what she can do. You try to beat her with a pipe? Come on.
Really,
it's not
dude?
even lead. It wasn't even lead. At least that she might not be able to see through.
You're gonna
It's
throw
not going to
a
hurt her.
bare knuckle punch at Supergirl. You're gonna break your fist, bro.
Yeah, but we did get a lot of that, and it was instigated by the car crash, but it spilled over in that way. We get a lot of this character, Secretary Lockwood, who is the son of Liberty, but Secretary Lockwood is the new appointed Secretary of Alien Affairs or whatever position that is being held, and this guy, man,
Love to hate him, right?
love to hate him.
Douchebag.
Man, just like such a villain in every way. Even the way he speaks, it just drips this privilege we love to disdain in every way.
Oh God.
But made a great foil for Colonel Halley, I think. Like I feel like she really had some good moments this episode.
She's redeemable because of how much of a
Despicable he
villain,
is, yeah.
how despicable Ben Lockwood is.
Yeah. I mean, he just struts into the DEO and is like, give me all your weapons and summon Supergirl. Like, shut up, you tool. You're a convict. You're a convict and a murderer.
No, he was never actually charged. He was found pardoned by the
Oh,
president.
he was pardoned by the president, right?
And we have a judicial system that works in a certain way.
Well, I'm just saying Alex called him prisoner number 4900152, whatever it was.
Yeah, and it was great. It was just
love that.
such a good. But he is such a great antagonist in every way.
Oh yeah,
Because he truly antagonizes you.
yeah.
It just
Brings out the worst
He
in
does.
everyone.
He does. He makes you just want to be like, oh, I hate you so much, and it's so good.
Well, it's this air of self-entitlement that he carries around with.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And he has this. There's this thing in French called face clock, where someone has a face you just want to smack, and he has that face.
Fossa
Fossa
clock.
Clock. Yeah.
Fossa clock.
Yeah, he just has that face. You just want to smack him in the face. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if that was a face smack. I'm not sure.
Or a
that
whip.
Nah, it sounded like more than a face smack. I've heard that smack before. But what do we think about Secretary Lockwood and the order and just being basically? He's got this president's number. Who's controlling who in this situation, or is it just a mutual agenda?
Good question. Well, I mean, we know that Lex sort of set up Ben Lockwood to be in this position in the first place, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I still say that Lex is still hiding the
puppet
back, is the
master.
puppet master behind all of them in that sense.
Lex Luthor, the master chess player. Yeah. He's setting it all up. I think Secretary Lockwood. I really want to wonder. I wonder when I say I think. I wonder what his powers, obviously not superpowers, but his powers are. Where does his jurisdiction begin and end? Is this like, because remember, we also created Homeland Security, and people think Homeland Security it was created in 2002. There was no Homeland Security before then. It's just now, and now it's taken over a lot of things that were previously under the DOJ and Secretary of State and things of that nature, and Homeland Security encompasses them. I wonder what the Department of Alien Affairs, what is exactly his powers?
Well, that was my question too, because I mean, do they have power over the DEO now? I mean, is that his?
I think it falls under his jurisdiction,
It falls
right?
under his jurisdiction, right?
It seems that way.
I would think so. I mean, if he's Secretary of Alien Affairs, but everything that he still has to do has to have
A presidential. Sure, it has to have a presidential order, but that's something that also plays a lot in general, where you're going to have a warrant for certain things. You have
ideally
to do the
for
paperwork.
checks and balances, but
Of course. Ideally, right? Let's talk a little bit about Brainy, who's Heather's favorite character.
such
Heather.
a soft spot for Brainy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after the whole dream sequence, I'm not feeling too self-assured about him, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get locked up or something. That seemed very vivid. The image of Ben Lockwood dressed up in his gear, coming in and personally accosting Brainiac.
For me personally, I don't know if it's so much Brainy or just the actor playing him, because I just feel like even when he gets very little to do, he just goes for. I mean, I think somebody else, given that whole Mission Impossible sequence, would have it would have felt so cheesy, but this one, I mean, let's be honest, it was cheesy. But I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. You Mission Impossible.
You Ethan Hunt that all day.
Yeah,
long, man.
I don't know. It's
Yeah, it was fun. Jesse Rath is a great actor. He plays this character very well. It's very likable. He's a charming character. As Brainiac,
and like all his physicality.
And even the way he raises and his eyebrows, he does these faces that are just now distinctly Brainiac moments for us. The way no one is more clandestine than I.
Yeah.
I am very clandestine.
Clandestine, right.
As he's yelling it, of course, that's
Across
the
the
opposite
hall.
of a clandestiny. So the concept is that irony that he plays, and also the ironic nature of Brainiac being the smartest 9th level intellect on the planet, and yet always doing the stupidest things or saying the stupidest things.
I know. I don't know if I feel like that 50-50 gut versus other decision making was really earned because
I
he
also
had
don't
made
think it's
so
50-50.
many. Well, yeah.
I don't think that's how 50-50 works. I think in that case, everything's 50-50. I'm going to live or die tomorrow. 50-50 chance. You know? I mean, I don't think that's how that works exactly, but yes.
Yes. I don't know if that moment was completely earned. I mean, especially with, I feel like the past few decisions he made weren't exactly logical and were sort of emotion based. So
he makes a lot of emotional decisions. Even the
does.
way he gets upset at things, it's emotional.
Yeah.
What should I do? Like, yo, that's an emotion. You do realize that. He's no Vulcan here. This guy has a lot of emotions and emotional roller coasters, but we still enjoy him because of his comic relief. He goes in there and he's talking to Nia Nall, and he's basically like, I know we had an awkward situation before, and she's like, well, yeah, I haven't eaten since, and she's actually eating,
Right.
And he's like, I know it's tough for you, one of those. Or it was just, he's always that guy. It's just such a great gag to have, and it doesn't get old for me, at least.
No, his ineptness at social graces is always fun.
Yeah. But I wish we saw more of Brainiac's powers. Let's remember, he can do a lot of things. His strength, his flight, his this, his that. I mean, this guy can do a lot.
Which
He's
also
a superhero on its own.
makes me hope that something happens to him or he gets detained in some way and they're trying to muss out what exactly he can do in the next episode.
Hey, you know who was missing from this episode?
Who?
John. Who was Martian Manhunter this
Yeah,
entire episode?
Oh, he
by the
went
way?
to go put the runes on Mars.
Yeah,
Hey.
but he was also gone. I mean, he should be back. What are we making of that? Is he just gone for the rest of the season, or is he coming back with an illustrious return?
Illustrious return.
Turn.
There's got to be something, right? There's a
he's
reason
probably gone for an
he's been
episode.
gone so much. Alex and Jimmy's sister. Alex, of course, meets up with Jimmy's sister because she apparently knows how to manipulate people. But basically,
You're a
asks-
psychiatrist,
Yeah,
right?
you're a psychiatrist. How can I manipulate my CO into listening to what I want them to do?
Here, I'll tell you what I did.
I felt a little bit of a romantic vibe towards that.
Oh,
end.
absolutely.
It played a little, right, Heather?
I mean, I think we all know that's where it's going, so that's why we feel the romantic vibe. I don't know but I don't know if I necessarily felt a romantic vibe with her last love interest either.
No.
You know, there's that sort of that feeling you get where you're like, oh, these two are going to end up romantically because of the writing, and then there's that sort of chemistry you feel.
And you don't feel the chemistry? Jorge, did you like? I felt a little chemistry. I liked it. I'm shipping
I didn't
it.
feel the chemistry. I felt it was a little forced. And there was that smile at there was that indicating smile at the end from Alex.
Yeah.
You know, when they framed up on her. But let's see how it goes.
That's the smile you're giving it to me right now. I feel something right now. Is that no?
I'm
No?
shipping this.
See how
This
this
is
goes.
good, yeah.
I like Alex and Jimmy's sister just because it keeps her in play, and I feel like she's a fun
Absolutely.
character. Other than that, there's no real point to having her. We've never really had the need for. I mean, Jimmy's sister has just never really come up. She was a non-entity in every other season, basically.
Well, it's interesting how because I feel like Alex's last love interest, one of the reasons why she's not here anymore is because, yeah, since she was a detective or a cop or whatnot, she sort of played more of a purpose in the story, but overall, not so
We
much,
didn't
and that's
need her.
why.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
She's
well,
gone.
we're kind of in that trap now, it seems, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, there was a lot. And then, of course, we got Alex and the Colonel. Now, their dynamic is very different. I'm shipping them, too.
I felt more between them. I'm not going to lie.
But how did you feel about how Alex ultimately utilized her newfound psychiatric knowledge and convinced the Colonel to save
I think it was
Supergirl?
sort of like, you know, a terrible analogy is someone taking you to batting cages and like sort of telling you how to do it, and you're like, oh well, they told me how to do it once, so I'll try.
Right.
It was sort of a swing and a miss, I think, 'Cause I think she went for the cheap shot first. It's like, hey, you have kids, right?
Yeah, you have a kid that you told me about, and this is what you told me. And the Colonel, I like how the Colonel called her out on it. It's like,
Yeah.
I gave you one piece of personal information, and you have just used that against me. This is why I do not give personal information.
Right. And also, I've been dealing with people on trying to manipulate me for how many years? I'm going to know when an amateur is
But
trying.
it worked.
I suppose.
I mean, she did, Colonel did redeem. And did you think she was going to call in Supergirl like she was ordered?
No. I didn't
No.
think she was going to call her in even before Alex, like, whatchamacallit, before Alex was coming in.
Jedi minded her?
Try to Jedi mind her, yeah.
I'm going to like seeing them more as allies, though. Now that it's going to be them versus Lockwood, even more so, I think.
I don't know. I don't know if you can change the Colonel's nature. The nature, she didn't do this for Alex. See, Alex is doing these things for Alex because Alex knows that Supergirl is her sister.
No, she doesn't know yet.
Yeah, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Listen, we keep trying to say that she doesn't. She does. Look, everything, and this is what I mean, this is like a major discrepancy,
Okay.
is that the writing says she doesn't know because she's been memorized. Her mind has been wiped. And she isn't supposed to know. And when it comes down to it, she doesn't know. And yet it took all of 1.5 episodes for the camaraderie to be right back to where it started, where she's willing to put everything and jeopardize everything that she has for Supergirl. So what's the difference between this Alex that doesn't know Supergirl's her sister and Alex that does know Supergirl's her sister? What's the difference in action?
That doesn't mean that she's conscious of why.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying, though?
I hear-
There's
I'm
no
picking up
difference.
what you're laying down.
They use that literary device to add a little bit of layer to an episode that they've immediately removed now. There's no difference in the motivation of Alex Danvers' pre and post
This is true.
knowledge of Supergirl. She's the exact same person, and they have a very similar relationship. The relationship is there. It's the same. She is friendly. She's caring. She's protective. She's everything that Alex was when she did know for a fact.
Mind wipe.
Right.
Exactly. There is no difference. I mean, why even have this storyline? Am I right?
No. I mean, yeah, you
Yes,
are.
yes, you are right. Yeah.
That's why. Let's talk a little Jimmy, because Jimmy had Jimmy the drug addict. What's up with Jimmy?
Jimmy's been
Jimmy's
juicing.
senses are. I think I called this last time too.
You did call it.
Yeah. His senses are. It's like are amplified, right? Like he can see further. He can hear further.
Well, it's been so long. Let's recap because I feel like this show has more breaks than any other show.
Right.
Jimmy needed the serum in order to survive
The gunshot?
being shot by his former assistant, who was Lex's assistant, who now we understand. Boom. Okay.
Hey, if the boss pays more, what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you going to do? Heather, you're never allowed to be around me anymore.
Just don't hire me as an assistant.
I mean, I wasn't going to, but now I definitely can't. That's not a good interview answer, right? So here we have Jimmy, who's used the serum. The serum Lena has developed in order to create metahumans. And now he has symptoms. What did they think was going to happen? Was this a symptomless serum? Was this a special concoction? It was the same one that gives people powers.
Well, they did have this whole discussion of like some of them having the metahuman effects and some just having the healing effects.
Right, like they were going to they were talking about separating the superhuman effects from the healing effects is what
So either they thought that that's the one they gave him, or they hadn't actually got to that point in the procedure yet, I suppose.
Did Lex switch it? Was Lex behind this too? I feel like Lex is behind everything that happens.
When in doubt,
Anything. Lex did it, you know?
Well, Lex got superpowers by taking
But
the
why on
serum.
earth would he want to give Jimmy Olsen superpowers?
Well, it also gives him a little bit of control. If there's an episode of Young Justice in which Lex Luthor gives Superboy powers, and by giving him
Get him
these
hooked
shields,
on it.
and it gets him hooked on it. So I
like
felt,
a good father would do.
I felt like there would be something similar in this situation, possibly. That's what my intuition says, but we don't know, obviously. We're getting there. This is Jimmy suffering from PTSD, and this could be the solution. And he's like...
No, the solution is making a bird on your chest and going tap, tap, tap.
Tap, tap, tap.
And he talks about... And Jimmy also talks about how he's a protector, and he's the guardian. He guards people, and now he can't. Exactly.
So now he's going to be Guardian with superpowers.
I mean, or he's going to be Lex's puppet with superpowers. See, we get to see. Lena had a great role in this episode. I feel like Lena came through.
Playing detective.
Emotional roller coaster, played detective, found the chess piece, the date, 7/16/18. Does she lie about the dates the Romanovs were executed?
Oh, I was getting that vibe. I don't know why she would. And
Because
it was a very elaborate lie all of a sudden.
She doesn't want to talk about the experiment gone wrong.
Right. So was the date when that experiment actually went wrong, and then she just lied about that? That was the vibe I was getting.
That's how I felt. It coincided with both, where she says that's the dates the Romanovs were executed. And, of course, they find Lex's diaries and the checkmate pattern. It was very intricate, and I could see Lena hiding that truth.
She was not about to show that picture to Supergirl at all.
She was not.
No,
Yeah.
not share that experience with her at all.
No, she didn't bring it up. She didn't say this is what happened. This is how we got there. Nothing. No. That serum is playing a huge part, and I think will play a bigger part.
I am interested to see what the Jimmy Lena reunion will be post Metahuman.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Especially it's your serum. You're supposed to help me. Lena also, we see a little bit of an emotional Lena, the one who is still vying for Lex's attention. I almost feel like we of course get the journal entry where it's like when she was 4, and she takes their father's favorite pen that was bestowed upon him by the King of Jordan, and then Lex, of course, in his negging ways, calls her pathetic.
Right.
And that still bothered her.
Right. If only she knew how brilliant she really was.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm negging you, but I'm also giving you one of the highest compliments. Such a Lex thing to do.
Oh, it's so NLP, man. He's completely controlling her.
Yeah. What's NLP?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I use. But Lena's emotional roller coaster, how did you guys feel about that? Did you think it was justified? Is she just being overly sensitive?
I don't know. I wasn't really thrilled with it. I feel like they've really weakened her since Lex coming. Understandably so in some cases. But I don't know. I felt like the language was a bit redundant in her part. I mean, where is this determination to get to the bottom of things? I don't know. I also think it's always hard to execute a scene where you're reading out a diary out loud and making it seem a little bit not cheesy, right? It was a dark and stormy night. Lena looked over. I don't know. It was just like, oh, okay, she doesn't know how brilliant she really is. Oh.
I mean,
let's cut to a flashback.
What do you think about Lena as a character? I'm always...
Oh, well, Lena's Brainy and Lena. Those are
the top two, right?
Yeah.
But I'm always waiting for Lena's other shoe to fall or something.
Yeah.
They keep it there. Her hiding this memory. Little things, just little things.
I don't even mean the evil aspect either. Just this BAMF moment.
This is my own. This is what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm waiting for something. I don't know. Lena's playing.
Also,
a huge part.
we're seeing a lot of the antagonistic part of their relationship between Lex and Lena. I kind of want to see where that other conflict is about them having this brother-sister bond that makes her so
attached.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing that.
Yeah, it always seems like she's just almost idiotic for searching for Lex's love because she didn't have a father.
Yeah, they're really making her into a victim.
Lex. Yeah, but there should be some where there is an actual brotherly, sisterly bond and they come through for each other. There should be something of that nature. We get to Strikers. Strikers is the jail, houses these super prisoners in a way. The warden The Warden is the puppet of Lex, and becomes the puppet of Supergirl, then becomes the puppet of Otis. I mean, the Warden is just everyone's puppet. And then Supergirl's like, oh, we're going to turn you in, or we could turn you and your husband in. I thought that was a little manipulative on her part.
Yeah, that was a bit much. I also thought the Warden could have been better lit, but that's just me.
The lighting, the lighting on the black characters is poor.
Come on.
You've worked with John for how many years now?
Guys, we can light the Warden. We can get him well lit. There was such a darkness to and it wasn't on purpose. It was not. I mean, I know that's a dark and dungy office, but let's turn a light on or two. What do you guys think about the Warden's character, though?
He didn't bother me. I don't know.
I like the Warden. I like the thing they threw in about him having a husband. He's coming. I just like that. It was just the Warden is becoming a character on his own, and I don't know how much longer he's going to put up with things. At the end,
not
is the
at
Warden
all now,
strangled?
since he's dead.
Is he dead?
He's dead.
Or is he just held in position?
No,
he
he did.
He's dead?
He did.
Okay, I wasn't exactly sure.
I don't know how his
on
husband's
that.
going to feel about that.
Yeah,
either.
I wasn't sure about that. I mean, I guess that's a way to go over that felony charge, to be thrown in the prison with your own prisoners. That probably bothered him. Who is Steve Lamella? Let's talk Steve Lamella, this character. We get the Snowden character, this WikiLeaks guy.
Aptly timed since our Mr. Julian just got arrested, right?
So it was just like the guy, he's obviously very smart, and he is Lex without the planning skills. He's obviously, there's no secrets when there's Wi-Fi and he's involved. He's obviously a brilliant mind. What did you guys think about Steve Lamella?
I like that he secretly worshipped Carrot Danvers, but hated Supergirl. I was like,
That's
not that smart.
Yeah.
She's wearing glasses, bro.
Yeah, that whole switcheroo with the Otis thing too. I was like, all right, that's convenient.
It works. I mean, honestly,
that was a comic booky in, I think, a good way.
That was very comic booky. Yeah.
There's an actress. There's an actor who they showed, she was wearing glasses. Zooey Deschanel. They had Zooey Deschanel without her glasses or bangs, and I couldn't tell that was her at all either.
Really?
And they were like, maybe there's something to Clark Kent. It was a very good meme, and it reminded me.
I saw that meme, yeah.
She switches, and Steve Lamella loves Kara and hates Supergirl. Calls Supergirl a malignant narcissist. And then we get Otis Graves comes in. Otis Graves as Metallo. And then Otis Graves says something so profound, which is interesting on
he
the
says
press.
They always parachute into crisis like this without any context for the larger systematic issues at play.
Yeah.
Which I think was
systemic issues at play.
Amazingly juxtaposed against every single one of his other cheesy lines. Such as, that's why they call it the slammer.
That's no. You have to say, that's why they call it the slammer.
And it really is easy being green.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here's Otis.
And then here's Otis. And then he
you
comes
get
out
that.
with something
You're
brilliant.
like,
and I like that. I like that they gave him an opinion on something that's so timely. The concept
that
of the
was
press.
probably one of my favorite aspects of the rise, that you gave him all of this and then you just sort of sprinkled in that.
It's genius. Yeah, because we get the nothing more powerful in the pursuit of justice than the power of the press. Welcome to the Fourth Estate. And of course, the pen is mightier than the sword. Which also could be a nod to the Batman movie where Joker says it. But it's also the concept of, we get a lot of the press and its social play and its effects. And I thought that was a brilliant usage of and homage to different ideas and ideologies of the press. It was just a very smart way to get it done. Otis Graves, he's Metallo now. And he has the kryptonite heart that blasts people. And he is the ultimate henchman.
Yeah, he is. And he stands in the middle of the cell, just like the boss told him.
He does. He listens to the boss, and
listens.
of course it
Sure, boss.
powers him up, and it explodes him, so it can destroy everything.
This is what you get.
And they put him back together. Yeah, what does that line mean? This is what you get.
I was like, that's Yeah, I was a little bit confused by that too. Because
Yeah.
I guess he's saying this is what you get because you didn't follow my instructions correctly.
You didn't get Supergirl?
Yeah, that's what I took it as.
I thought that maybe Otis had done something, and then I was
trying
happy
to figure
that they
out
brought
what
him back.
Otis did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy they brought him back.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking Otis too. So if I had to rank, I'm going Lena, Brainy, Otis as my top 3
Ooh.
characters of what's going on. And I'm kind of done with Alex as a character. I'm not done with her, but I'm just done with that. We get it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get more Kara over Supergirl and see how that goes too.
Yeah, I'm interested for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens. And of course, Otis Graves, he's super strong now. He can be put back together. He's more machine than he is man, I would assume at this point.
Looks like.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
And the Kryptonite, and of course, the Kryptonite shield.
That lasted for like
Was that
a few
fun or
seconds.
lazy writing?
I'm going to say 60-40
Yeah.
and be generous.
Nice call back.
60-40. That's
Nice call
right.
back.
Or 60-40. 40-60.
46.
60-40. Let's get into Who You, our segment where we decide what's your favorite scene. Heather.
Ooh, the scene we relate to, right?
Yeah.
Well, since Brainy is one of my guys, I'm going to say the one where he does not lean towards intestinal inclinations.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with that.
I like that. What are you going to go with, Jorge?
Speaking of intestinal inclinations, so I just got back from South America last weekend, and have I been having some trouble down there. So I would say when Otis blows up and all that green gas goes all over the place.
All right, that's
what
nice
I
to know.
identified
That's
with,
nice to know. Moving on, I'm gonna go with Otis Graves' opinion on the press. I thought that was brilliant, just being not what
Way
you
to
look
class
for,
it
who
up.
you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, I feel like we've discussed everything there is to know about this episode,
Absolutely.
and we only have a couple episodes left. I mean, a season finale is happening May 19th, I believe.
Sounds about right.
So that's happening. So let's get into some predictions.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions, Heather.
I predict Lex Luthor will run for president, and that the next time Lena sees Jimmy, it'll be full-blown meta-human. And that's all.
Jorge.
I agree with Heather's predictions, and I still see a ultimate battle going down between Red Daughter and Supergirl.
I'm waiting for that battle. That's going to be the ultimate payoff of this entire season. But I'm looking forward to Lex being the puppeteer behind it all, including Blackwood, including the president, and including the change in Supergirl. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm also looking forward to finding you guys on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Where can people find you if you want to be found?
Hey guys, across social media, you can find me at Batgirl Wake.
And as for me, you can find me at the El Jorge. That's TheelJorge.
Yes, you can. And of course, I am Tehran all across the board. That's I am Tehran, IAMTEHRAN. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, hosting a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows right here. I love to hear from you, so make sure to find me and tell me your thoughts from here till infinity, from until next Supergirl. Same Supergirl time, same Supergirl channel. We'll see you guys next week.
To infinity and beyond.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.